combination of different slots. And like so the continuation of it, you have to watch the boards all day. And a bar. That's all.
Betty is going to introduce to you the Library of the Year Award. Betty Ammon.
Is there another Betty in here? How many minutes did I read last night? I won.
You won.
Yeah.
We won.
Oh, we won. No, I meant the question. Remember the question? Oh, okay, never mind. Okay. Well, former Children's and YA librarian, I have to give this award in the form of a story. And it goes like this. Once upon a time, in 1921, as a matter of fact, a public library began to grow in Thompson Falls. It was started by the Thompson Falls Women's Club, who purchased 2 books and a children's magazine called Nature, and made them available for checkout in the town laundry. The library grew and was moved to various places in Thompson Falls, including a barbershop basement. Now, some of this I made up. Including a barbershop basement, too cold. The Oddfellows Hall, too odd. And at the back of the local fire station. Too hot. Come on, you guys. In 1962, the town of Thompson Falls built a new city hall with 2 rooms for the public library. And that was just right for a while. Then along came a visionary library director, Kathy Roberts, and a terrific board, including the favorite name of mine, Louis LaRocque, who's on her board and active in the Tamarack Federation. And they had some pretty grand ideas about what library services in Thompson Falls should look like. And their dream became a reality because a year and a half ago they moved into this brand new facility on Main Street. Did you triple your space? All kinds of airy open areas and places for programming. They have 600 new library patrons as a result, and their checkout stats have gone off the chart. Now, you think that should be the end and they would live happily ever after, right? Nah, not Kathy Roberts, not Thompson Falls Public Library. They've jumped on board with the Montana Shared Catalog Project. Now, you got to understand, Thompson Falls is a small library and not automated. They're going from nada to the big kahuna, right? Kathy's been such a great participant in the Montana Shared Catalog. As you know, I'm one of the participants in that too, and actually Kathy ends up being our kind of our barometer. If the acronyms get to be too much and all the talk has to be too technical, Kathy's the one who says, wait a minute, I don't understand. And she's also the one who says how terribly excited she is about this project and how very scared she is. She speaks for all of us in the Shared Catalog Project. So Thompson Falls, the end is not happening, it's the beginning, and they've worked hard and truly, truly deserve to be Montana's Library of the Year. Kathy? I
would like to say how honored we are in Thompson Falls, Montana, to receive this award and to thank MLA for it. And I would like to accept it on behalf of our staff, Gail Hinkle, Liz Hudson, and Kathy Avery. Together, we make up 1.75 FTEs. And on behalf of our very proactive board and our fantastic friends of the library and the community of Thompson Falls, who has been so supportive for us in all of the things that we have tried to do, and so encouraging, and that makes all the difference. I would also like to thank MLA for selecting a small rural library to be Library of the Year. That was astonishing to me when I opened the letter and read that. Small rural libraries are the lifeblood of the Montana Library Network. We are, in many cases, the only vision that patrons have of what a library is. We are it, because they don't go to larger metropolitan areas. They may never go to a university library. So the services that we provide them and what they see when they enter our doors shape how they feel about libraries for the rest of their lives. So it's very important, I think, that a small rural library was able to receive this award. And I also need to thank the people at the state library, because without the services that the state library provide to us, offering statewide contracts like InfoTrack and OCLC services, and certainly being able to participate in the Montana Shared Catalog, Thompson Falls is in a project that costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. and we're going to benefit from this in ways that we would never have even imagined a couple of years ago. And in addition to that, the people at the state library are always there when we need them. And so often we do need them because we don't have the expertise that many of you have and that the state library is able to provide. And they're always just an email click away or a phone dial away, and always encouraging and supportive and willing to listen to us when we cry on their shoulder and moan and complain. And without them, it would have been very difficult to make the changes that we have made in Thompson Falls, Montana. I would also like to urge all small rural libraries, all libraries, to just go for whatever it is that you're trying to do and that you want to do and that you hope to do. Don't listen to the people who say it can't be done. We were told Friends of the Library would never fly in Thompson Falls, and we have a fantastic Friends of the Library. We were told that it would be years before we would be able to move and to build a library, and we were able to, in 11 months, do a successful mill levy campaign, purchase a building, renovate the building, and move for less than $150,000. So it can be done. And do it because the sky's the limit at Montana Libraries. And thank you very much.
Very nice. Sheila Ctes Award for Librarian of the Year is our next award, and Bruce is going to present this award. Bruce Newell, I should write down first and last name.
Just in case I forget. Well, Kathy, I have to follow that.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, heavens. So I admit, I do have the best job in the entire universe. I do admit that. Well, a short note as we introduce Bette. That's all we need to know. This is Bette, who is the Librarian of the Year, the Sheila Ctes Librarian of the Year. And I think you need to know just a few things about this award. Sheila was served at the State Library from '85 until her death from cancer in '93. She was named posthumously Librarian of the Year just a couple weeks, I believe, after her passing. Sheila was, had the welfare of Montana's libraries in her heart. I mean, she was just all for libraries, and so it's very appropriate that the Librarian of the Year award is given her name. Also, it's appropriate that it's the Montana library community that gives this award. We're giving it to Bette, but actually, and it's an amazing honor to be recognized by your colleagues in this fashion. But actually, as much as anything, we can blame this award to Bette on an environment in which she works. I mean, we kind of enable her, as they say nowadays, which is both good and bad. Mostly good. I have the opportunity to see libraries literally from around the world in my work on the OCLC Members Council, and I see what's going on in other states and in other countries. This is truly unique. There are very few places on this planet where we have a library community like this. There's a level of neighborliness that really makes it possible for people like Bette to rock and roll, to do her thing. So we have to kind of blame ourselves on some of her success. Let's see, nitty-gritty details about Bette. She was the YA librarian in Pocatello from 81 to 89. She was the assistant director in the YA librarian in Missoula from 93 to 95, and has been the director in Missoula since 97. She's active in a number of associations, the Pacific Northwest Library Association, and don't forget they're meeting in Missoula August 7th through 10th, Montana Festival of the Book, Montanans Against Censorship, which she's been the president of. She's been active in the Montana Library Association. She served on the board as Western Member at Large, 98 to 2000. She's been the Montana Library Association rep to PNLA from 93 to 96. Currently serving on the Library Law Revision Task Force, and has been partially responsible for several memorable conferences, which is hard work, as those who are freshly wearing the crowns will discover, and as those of us who have had the pleasure have discovered. She's a lead player in the lead library in the Montana Shared Catalog project. She's an accomplished writer, promoter of all things YA and bibliographic, notably the Young Reader's Choice Award book, which is, as many of us know, the oldest children's book award in the United States. And she's been involved in that since '86. Is that correct?
I'm really old.
She is unbelievably. And she's also largely responsible for the Treasure State Picture Book Award. She has kind of a strange set of interests, and I think some of this is due to her kids and Randy, and I think this is all good. But it's popular culture is interesting to her always. Bob Cooper wrote a supporting letter to her nomination. I'm going to quote at a little bit of length from Bob's letter because Bob's got a gift for words, and I think he nailed it here. Bette continually demonstrates a high degree of statewide library leadership. Bette's daily actions capture the true spirit of libraries helping libraries. Her dedication to making the new Montana Shared Catalog work not only for her library, but for all libraries participating in the project, and is inspiring. She is unselfish, not uncaring, unselfish, caring, and truly gets it when it comes to library resource sharing. Leadership of the kind exemplified by Bette takes significant courage and tireless work behind the scenes, yet when the spotlight of recognition shines, Bette prefers to step aside and definitely aim it at another librarian or staff person. She balances an overload of complex and frustrating tasks with that special kazoo brand of humor that helps all of us working with her keep our perspective in positive focus. Her openness in communications, her willingness to listen to what's important to others, and her enthusiasm and leadership for improving library service in Montana all make Bette Ammon an excellent candidate for Montana Library Association's Sheila Ctes Librarian of the Year. I nominated Bette for this honor because I thought she epitomized the best of Montana's library spirit. I once heard her say, Tamarack Federation is only as strong as its weakest library, and she really does work as a Missoula Public Librarian to improve service for everybody. Just summarized to finish with, I think that Bette truly does personify the heart and hope, the best of what's being a Montana librarian. When she goes to work, librarians around the state benefit. Let's all take and honor Bette in a way that only is appropriate for her. Bette Ammon, Sheila Ctes, Librarian of the Year.
Are there bodies down there on the floor? Here. Would you please? What is this on my head? I can't. Yeah. Well, thanks, Bruce. Jeez. And it is hard to follow you, Kathy. That was such a great and eloquent speech, and I had to write stuff down because I just thought, oh, what am I going to say? Thanks, everybody. This is amazing. It's so cool. It really is. I have to say a couple words about Sheila Ctes. We moved to Montana in 1989, and I started working at Missoula Public in 1990, and I think the conference, the MLA conference, was in Missoula that spring. And that was the first time I met Sheila, and my memory of her is, I don't know why I'm doing that. I gotta get this water. How much you bars? That's good. That's good. You guys are coming right along with your Christmas stuff. I remember Sheila walking into the library with an entourage around her. It seemed like people just wanted to find out stuff. She knew so much about everything. Yeah, it's great. Okay, now I'm going to read these words, maybe. Nancy said she wasn't going to thank her mom. I'm not going to either, except for Randy's videotaping this, so I bet my mom ends up seeing it. So I have to tell you that when I was little, my mom says that when my brother and I were little, that she got us down for naps by reading Shakespeare's sonnets aloud to us. Now, it may explain a lot about my personality. She says that we didn't care what she read as long as that she was nearby and reading, and she was starving for some grown-up literature, and so she'd read Shakespeare. I don't know, the bard, iambic pentameter. Maybe that gave me that great sense of rhythm for the kazoo. I don't know. But most of all, though, I guess I never have lived during a time when books and words weren't important to me. So it seems pretty natural that I've ended up being a librarian and associating books and reading with all the best feelings in the world. So thanks, Mom. To get an award for something you get paid to do is so amazing. And you know, I do my job and I work as hard as, you know, all of you work, but to get recognized by all of you is incredible. But I have to say it's easy to do this because I love it and I get to work with you people, and I'm just darn lucky. I have this handsome, hirsute, Hawaiian shirted husband, my bright and beautiful daughter, Katie, and her boyfriend. Katie has great taste in men. That's something that she's gotten from her mom. Our son Cal's not here. You'd like him. But most of all, I have to say, you know, Bruce mentioned that I always, or I guess from your really nice letter, Bob, and may I have a copy, please, that I step aside, but, you know, that's the deal. I don't do any of this on an island or by myself. I have the greatest staff. Why am I doing this? I'm not right. I turned 50 and all of a sudden became a baby. I don't understand. I work alongside the most resilient, silliest, dedicated staff. Would you guys stand up? Yeah. There are a couple board members here too, and volunteers, Linda, Renee, and Steve. That library wouldn't be what it is without them. I just kind of ride along and glory in all their success. But let me tell you how lucky I am. You know, I'm lucky that these guys and those guys and that guy and you guys. But I'm lucky to live in a state where Karen Strege is the state librarian. And she's such a good trivia player too, but ruthless. I've noticed that. Yeah. I'm lucky to be part of the lively Tamarack Federation, and I'm thinking of a theme song for us, and it goes something like, knick-knack, tamarack, give a kid a book, you know, but we're going to work on that. We'll form a committee and we'll come up with something. I'm so lucky to be a player in the Montana Shared Catalog. That means I get to work with the likes of Bob Cooper and Diane and Sarah McHugh, and where's that Mike Price that shocked us all last night? And of course, Bruce. I get to work with these people who are so terrific, and Darlene Staffeld, who's such a supporter. I'm just lucky, and I can't believe it. Now I have to tell a dad thing, because my dad watched this too, okay? When Randy and I got married over 13 years ago, we got married outside of Island Park, Idaho, in this little cabin. And 100 some odd, very odd friends and family, they came to help us celebrate. And at one point, my dad looked around and he said, "Are all these people your friends?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "You're rich." Yeah. So, I have to tell a Rita story now, and then I'll be done. Rita described this little boy and his mom who came into the library, and they were standing in front of the children's desk. She was helping the mom. And this little boy was probably 3 or 4, and he burped the loudest and most rambunctious belch. And the mom whipped her head around, as we moms are wont to do, and said, "What do you say?" And the little boy looked at her and he said, "Wow."